Hello, hello, my brothers. Hello, guys, gentlemen, and ladies that like to support gentlemen. Welcome to another episode, precisely episode 93 yeah, episode 93 of Mental Health Mandate. Welcome, welcome. It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys. Today, we're going to be talking about silent pressures. Silent pressures. It is 12 noon now, North America, break time for everyone. My my hope for this mental health mandate is for while men are on break, at work, and a changing room, they have access to information that can support them in their journey. Because the journey of a man's life is not easy, especially dealing with things that has to do with your mental health. Like the title says, mental health mandate. This is a mandate from God, right? And it's a date with the man. So the more we can engage ourselves, the better. So if you're a man out there, you're listening to this, endeavor to introduce the next man to this. So we have somewhere an avenue where we can offload, an avenue where we can connect, an avenue where we can relate, an avenue where we can engage. If you're out there as well, it's an opportunity for you to join on live. You can decide to say, you know what, I like you to interview me. I like us to have a conversation. Just come on here. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk to each other, right? Man talk to man. That's the mandate. It's not dating the man. No. It's a man talk to man date, right? Mhm. That's what it is. Or if you're shy, you're camera shy, that's fine. That's okay, right? You can just come on while you're watching. Just engage us on the chat, send it a message. You have a question, you have a challenge, you have something you're struggling with, just send it on there. Let's begin to engage ourselves. Let's support each other. That's the essence of the mandate, because we want to be able to connect with ourselves, engage ourselves, support the next man, right? So support could be you being on here, or support could be you sending this message to a next man, introducing him to mental health mandate on break time 12 noon in North America. Also 6 p.m., 5 p.m. It depends in Europe and Africa. So we want to be able to connect to our men. Right. Today we're talking about silent pressures. Silent pressures. Yesterday I had uh, a Sunday service, and the title of the sermon was um, Silent Whispers. Silent Whispers. I would recommend you go and listen to that. It's for an hour that will bless you, right? It talks about the essence, the reason for us to be able to sit in silence and be able to hear God's voice. Also, the ability to differentiate between God's voice and the voice of the devil that tells you you're not good enough, you can't achieve things. You know, that brought this topic of silent pressure. I just thought of it, thinking of what to say today, what we're going to engage on today. I thought about, in the first place, how did we as men get into the struggle of mental health? How did we get into the space of where we're now getting challenged? We are complaining about mental health. Where did it all come from? What's the root cause? It landed me to what's called the silent pressures. Silent pressures. So, silent pressures are the pressures that we put on ourselves unknown to us. Silent pressures are the pressures our parents put on us unknown to us. Silent pressures are the pressures the societal norm puts on us unknown to us. When we wear and carry these pressures through our lives, right? Thinking we always have to be busy trying to make ends meet, engage, make things happen. You can't just be sitting idle, right? If you're sitting idle, instead of sitting and being productive in that silence, right? Um, you're worrying. You're worrying. So that's the pressure, silent pressure, that the society that we go through, that we carry, that would eventually now break us down. Because when things are not going well for us, that pressure falls back on us again. Each time you lose a job, that pressure falls on you. Each time your relationship breaks down, that pressure falls on you. It keeps falling on you because you see it as a pressure. So I decided to talk about this today because there's a sweet spot between the sermon for yesterday, which is the silent whispers, and the silent pressure. So silent whispers, hearing from God. Silent pressure is what now creates mental health issues for men in particular, right? Silent pressure is the pressure of just being a man. There's so many things that come with it. A man is expected to be the provider, the protector, right? He's the one that he time was not invested into even training him on what life is about, on how to be a boyfriend, a husband, on how to be a father. Those training, nothing like that. Right. This is not comparison, but for women, they are trained on how to be mothers, right? Because they watch their mother, right? And they also train on how to be wives. This from young, they're already training them. You're hearing your husband, you're hearing your husband all the time. This is how you do, this is how you take care of your husband, this is how you do this. So the training, it's ingrained in them. That's why they are perfect nurturers, because they were nurtured very early on. Now, men don't experience that at all. Men are hardly nurtured. They were just left to just grow on our own, figure things out by ourselves. Now, that's where the pressure now lies, right? We're expected to be the protector and provider, and we weren't trained to do that. So what happens is that when we fall short of this pressure that we put of being the provider and protector and being strong, that's part of the pressure. Oh, you're a man. You're not supposed to show weakness. Be strong, be strong. So let me just break it down like this. Number one pressure is this. So this is hands-on engagement. Number one pressure is the pressure of the provider, right? Number two pressure is the pressure of protector. Number three pressure is the pressure of emotional strength. So this emotional strength is more like saying, oh, you're a man, you're never supposed to show weakness. So this is just the basic pressure that a man goes through, that it's put on him by the parents and the society while we're growing up. Provider, protector, strong. You're a man, don't show weakness. You're emotionally strong. We carry those pressure on into our lives, into our later years, right? That along the line, when things don't go well for us, these pressures will now begin to tell on us. And if you ask me, right, these three main things, provider, protector, and emotional strength, is the main cause, is the root cause of most of the mental health issues for men. So these three things are the main causes of mental health issues for men. It's very, very, very important to know what these causes are. And I think we've gotten to a stage where we need to start moving away from this pressure that will be put on us. A man is, you're just like, you're as emotional as a woman. Even some men are more emotional. You can cry. I do cry. I cry. Something's get to me. I can be watching a movie and cry. I'm that emotional. Because what I'm seeing, it's being acted, but what I'm seeing, right, I can connect it to a situation that I probably have seen before, I've experienced, that I know can really happen in real life, right? So it gets me emotional. What that only says is that I'm human and I'm kind and compassionate. For people that are emotional, they're mostly kind and compassionate. Although they can be some fake emotional people, but that's basically what it is. So it's not a bad thing to be emotional. enforcing men to be emotionally strong. Don't cry, don't break, right? It's wrong. That's the pressure that we carry. We carry these pressures from a young age to the old age, and it becomes a battle when we find ourselves falling short of the expectation of being the provider, protector, and emotional strength. We think there's something wrong with us. We start worrying, right? But see it like this. When you fall short of these things, right, and you find yourself in silence, it's a time, do you know, it's very good, just like yesterday's sermon was saying, take this pressure, emotion, silent pressure away from you and sit in that silence. Sit in that silence. There's so much to learn from sitting in silence. Now, some people might see me and say, how did you manage to get here? I see all that you're doing, which is, I think all of you that have been, giving me feedback, encouragement, saying, oh, I like what you're doing. Keep up what you're doing. Thank you very much. I need those things. It's like oxygen to me to know that what I'm doing is right. Although I don't need validation. My validation, I get it from God. But it still feels good, right? It still feels good. It feels good to hear it, right? Now, how did I get here? It's a journey of sitting in silence. There's so many times when I've had nothing to do, when I've been jobless, when I've been heartbroken, right? When I've had no money, right? When I couldn't fight, I sat in that silence and questioned myself and questioned my journey and reflected back and looked forward and questioned God. In that silence, I began to discover who I am. I began to drop all the weight of silent pressures that I've been carrying. Oh, I have to make sure everyone is okay. I have to provide for everyone. I don't even have. How do I provide? I couldn't provide. I had to stay in the position of someone that cannot provide. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a pretty space to be, right? But I had to sit in it. And then in sitting in it, I then realized how much pressure I've been putting on myself all the while. Like I am Superman. I've got to make sure everyone is okay. It's my duty. No. God allowed me be in that situation now. Now you can't give. You can't do anything. What are you going to do now? Look out for yourself. And I began to realize, and that's why I was able to pick up this topic today, the silent pressures. We don't know. We don't think that's a man's world. It's a man's world, right? We think that's what our world is about. If you're a man, listen to me now. I would ask you this question, right? What are you about? Who are you other than what you do? That's the provision, the protection, right? If they strip you of these things and you cannot provide for your family, if they strip you of these things and you cannot protect your family, you have no control of saying this is what's going to happen in your family. You can't even decide what's going to happen with your children. You can't do nothing. That's been taken away from you. That control has been taken away from you. And the finances to take care of anyone around you has been taken away from you. My question for you now is, how are you going to feel? Who are you going to be at that point? I'd like you to just sit with this question. Again, when the control of your children and the things you control, maybe a business or whatever you're doing that you have control over, when control is taken away from you, and finances as well, to take care of things, people around you, even yourself, is taken away from you, who will you be? Because that's the pressure we carry. We have to be the leader, make sure everything is okay. That's a control. We have to make sure everyone will provide for everyone, right? That's the protector, the provider. That has been the silent pressure that we've been carrying all our lives. Now, I'm saying when that silent pressure is taken away from you, who are you other than what you provide, right? And how people you protect? Who are you? That's the silence you're supposed to sit in. Sit in that silence. You begin to discover yourself. you begin to discover who you are beyond the silent pressure that has been put on you. Because this silent pressure of the provision and protection and being emotionally strong becomes a dopamine that we always crave for. It. I have to make sure my family is okay. I have to make sure everyone's okay. Are you okay? If you're okay, I'm okay. It's like dopamine. You're getting high on it. The time you know it's like a dopamine high is when it's taken away from you. Then you begin to see how you feel. You feel very uncomfortable. You don't feel yourself again. It feels like you're going to run mad. That's the gap. That's the silent pressures that we face. But when we've sat in this pressure, in this silence to discover ourselves and know, oh, this is what it is, right? You begin to see that when those things happen, when you lose a job, it's not the end of the world because you sat in it before. You sit in it and discover, okay, what's going to be my next move? But for someone that has never been there before, they will almost run mad when they cannot earn for a month, 2 months. Oh my God, the world is coming to an end. Right? So those are the silent pressures. Take them away from yourself. If you really want to heal yourself and not struggle with your mental health, all these things, this silent pressure, take it away from yourself. Test yourself and see how you're going to feel. Take the control away. Take the the finances away. Don't be able to provide it for anybody. Test yourself. Maybe you even have the money, but all the people you're providing for, at that point, just say you don't have. Test it for 1 month. I don't have. See how you're going to feel. And also watch how the people that you're fending for, how they're going to react. It's needed. See how you are going to feel. It will tell you a lot about yourself and how the people you're fending for are going to react. Because now you're testing it when you still have. But a day might really come when you don't have. But then you might face a rude awakening that you might not be able to cope with. So it's good to prepare yourself, right? And also, doing this, sitting in silence, it helps you. There's a concept of that I heard yesterday about, let me look at it. The concept of living long. Living long is how long you live, the age. Maybe you get about 90, 80, 100. That's living long. But there's another concept of living wide. Living wide. See, life is about length and breadth. Length and breadth of life, right? So the concept of living long is how long the age you live. But living wild is how much rich, right? You are able, how fulfilling your life is, how impactful your life is, right? So I think most of us as men, we just want to live long, right? We don't focus on living wide. People that live wide are people like someone like Benson Idahosa. His impact is wide. You can see that, right? Someone like Chifusawa Ruibidion, he lived long and he lived wide because his impact is everywhere. You can hear Okada, the things he's done. You hear about those things, right? Now, I think this goes out to every man. Start thinking about how you can live wide and not just live long. What impact are you going to make, right? When you start thinking about how to live wide, your life start becoming impactful. This pressure, this silent pressure gets taken away because you need to dig deep into yourself to be able to live wide, to do things beyond your comfort zone, to do things that are going to stretch you, to do things that are going to develop you. When I just heard it, I think it was this morning I heard it. I was like, whoa, I never thought of it that way. You can actually live long and you can live wide. It's length and breadth. So length is just selfishness. It's just you living long and you're just living days passing. Oh, I'm still alive. You just keep doing what's comfortable for you and your family, your immediate family, and not thinking beyond. your confines. But when you're thinking about living wild, even if it's 5 years, that 5 years, you've done a lot of things that's impacted a lot of people that will keep expanding. It's like ripple. One thing you've created will touch the next person, that will touch the next person, but it came from you. That's living wide. So when we begin to think about how can I live wide, right? We'll take away the silent pressure that has been put on us to be providers, right? Protectors and emotional strength. I never thought of it before, but when I heard it this morning, that's when I realized, okay, that's what I've been focusing on. Living wild, not wild, wide. WIDE, living wide. Which is why I do this on Mondays, because I know men need this. If I'm not here tomorrow, someone's going to come across this and look at it, impact that person. That maybe the person might think, this is good. I want to do something like this. They get encouraged to do something like this, and it keeps moving, right? Maybe someone will come across my sermons on Sundays and say, "Oh, this is beautiful," or read my book. That's living wild, not, wide. The wild and wide, it does mix up, but wide. You get what I'm saying? Expand yourself. Expand yourself beyond your size. I'm this side, but expand yourself wide. Reach out to people. Talk about your country. Support. Think about how best can I be of service to my country? How best can I be of service to people? How best can I be of service to humanity? How best can I be of service to God? That's living wide. When we live wide, we're not in ourselves. We're not just contained with ourselves. And so that something doesn't function well with us, we start worrying. No, we're not living for impact. So the issue of mental health gets reduced, because there's that feeling of fulfillment that's existing, right, in your existence. So it helps us, move away from silent pressures. When you're singular and just doing, okay, it's me, myself, my family, yourself as a human being, you begin to understand other people, right? You begin to understand your environment, because now you're moving beyond you. Now, the reason why most of us struggle with mental health is because we're just all about ourselves. It's selfishness. My this is no this. There's a lot of I in the mental health struggles. So let's think beyond ourselves. If there's nothing you take away from today, it's number one, realize that you need to drop the silent pressures that have been put on us by our parents, by the society we grew up in. What's those pressures? The pressures are three. Number one, be a provider that takes care of everyone, right? Number two, be a protector. And number three, be emotionally strong. Men don't cry. You're supposed to show strength all the time. No. Sometimes you're human. You're just like the woman. Sometimes you can be more emotional than your sister, than your wife. So you should have the freedom to be who you are, to be authentically you, not hide behind masculinity. When you hide behind masculinity, that's what's called toxic masculinity. It's toxic. That's not real you. The longer you stay in that, the more toxic you get over time. So this is the the silent pressure that you want to get away from. Also, another thing you want to take away from today is the concept of living long and living wide. So the concept of living long is living till old age, which we all pray for. But beyond focusing on living till old age, right? When you're thinking about living to old age, you're scared of death. You have a fear of death, right? Because you want to live long. You're thinking, I need to live till old age. It's something and something. Who says that? Not everybody lives till that age. So I think the more what we should be focusing on, how to live wide, impact for the short time. It's not how long you live, but how well you live, right? Live to create an impact. Live to make the world a better place, so that even if you're 50, I pray everyone lives long. But even if you don't live to that age, the years you spend in life will be impactful beyond 100 years, right? What you've done will be impactful beyond 100 years. Now, see an example of Michael Jackson. How long ago has he died? I think it's probably over 30 something years or thereabout. But he lived wide. His name is still topping chart. His music is still topping chart. He lived wide. He didn't live long, but he lived wide. There's some people that 90, 80, 100 years, they don't have the impact that he has, but he's dead. That's a life well lived. Not because it's long, but because it's wide. So if we shift our focus from living long to living wide, right? Mental health challenges we're having will be reduced, right? And it will make the world a better place, because the world will feel the impact of one person, two people, three people, 10 people trying to make the world a better place. Therefore, the world just becomes an automatically better place. The ones that do evil get intimidated because they do evil, you pay them back with good. So that's just my word for today on this mental health mandate, episode 93. God bless you as you're finishing your food in the canteen. You're preparing to go back to work. I know one of the reasons I'll tell you, and this is true story. One of the reasons why I thought of this to be 12 noon. I remember those days when I used to work in constructions, break time. Sometimes we have nothing doing. Sometimes we're just watching. Some people are watching porn. All right. Sometimes we're watching movie during break time. There's really nothing to engage us, And I thought, if we as men, especially in construction, there's a lot of men, right? If we as men have something positive that we can listen to during our break while we're eating in the canteen, it will be very good. So please, do us a favor, do men a favor, and share this with another man that needs to hear it. Tell him to share it with the next man. The more men we have engaging, the more men we have being enlightened about how to manage their mental health, the better the world is. Because it is a man's world. It's a man's world. We can either be the solution of the world or the problem of the world. And I'll break down when I say it's a man's world. It's a man's world because majority of men are the leaders. The man is the leader of the house, right? If a woman is whole, if a woman is fully whole, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, everything all around, and she marries a man that's broken, guess what? The house is still broken, right? The house is still broken. So it is a man's world. A man, we need each other. We need to support each other. So thank you all for listening to me today. I look forward to engaging with you again next week. Endeavor to share this message with another man. Share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Comment underneath. How are you going to feel? That question. How are you going to feel if you're stripped of all your control and your financial capabilities? You have no money and you've been stripped of all the control you have, control of your children, control of your businesses, control of everything that you have. How are you going to feel and who are you going to be? It doesn't have to happen physically, but mentally, just process it and think of what you would do in that situation. It's going to help you a great deal. So God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day and bye for now till I see you next week.